What's up, YouTube? Woo! Mr. King coming to you live from the studio today. We have a lab today. So first thing, I'm going to do a demo, and you're going to describe what is happening. Describe what happened to each car. Okay? So first one, let's say we're going to talk about my Camry. All right, we have two Camrys, similar masses. They're going to be hitting each other. Watch what happens when both the cars are moving around the same speed. Okay? So what happens moving around the same speed and they collide? What happens to one car and what happens to the other car? Okay? Who takes more impact? Try and figure it out. Okay? Next one, two cars, similar models, but one hits the other. So what happened? You hit a car in the parking lot. What happens to the car that hit the one? And what happens to the car that's parked in the parking lot? Okay? Notice that the car that hit the other car stopped moving, whereas the other one went around the same speed after. Next one, now we're going to add some weight. Let's throw some trucks into the equation. I'm going to add some mass to represent a heavier car, like a truck. So let's say my Camry is not moving and it gets hit by a truck that is moving. Watch what happens. Okay? Watch how fast it goes. It pushes it all the way back against the ramp. Okay? Now we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to have a lighter car and a heavier car. The lighter car actually bounces back this time. Okay? So why is it when the lighter car hits heavier car, the lighter car actually bounces back? When it was the other way, the heavier car did not bounce back. Okay? We're going to be talking about that in our next unit, momentum. After you replay the videos and get all the answers for this table, part 0, go to this link here. The first thing I like to do is always let students experiment. So you can start just by learning what the scenario does, playing around with the masses. Always do reset before you're changing things. You can make them both heavier, see how that changes it. You can make one of them go faster or slower. And see what happens. You can make one heavier than the other, see what happens. Okay? It can get really complicated. So for the first one, have the blue car at rest, and they both have no weight. So make them have no extra weight. Now they only weigh 1 kilogram. I'm gonna put the blue car at rest. So that's what you do. So we have the red car, boom, hits the blue one. So to fill out the table, first thing, it's asking for momentum. Momentum is mass, how much something weighs, times velocity. How fast it's going and if it's going backwards or forwards. So the first column was already filled out for you to show you how it's done. So the red car, before the collision, it weighs 1 kilogram, but it was going 5. So 1 times 5 is 5, so that's the velocity. Whereas the blue car, in the original collision, before it got hit, it was not moving. So the velocity is 0, so the momentum is 0. For this column, put the total. So for this one, write what happened to the red car after it got hit. What happens after it collides? The weight shouldn't change, but the velocity will change. Okay? And then what happens to the blue car after it got hit? And then in this box, take your final answer for this one and your final answer for this one and add them together. The last column is momentum change. So you take P stands for momentum. I don't know why they picked P for momentum. M was already taken by mass, so maybe that's why. But you take the momentum after, so this number minus this number to get the change. So you take the final momentum here minus the final momentum here to get this answer. And then this answer, the final momentum here, the final momentum, the initial momentum here, and subtract them. And then once you got those two numbers, add them together. We're going to do an example for the red car, let's say. I'll play it one more time. So the red car starts out at 5 meters per second, but it hits the blue car. The blue car takes all that momentum. So after the collision, the red car is still weighing 1, but it's going 0 now. The car completely stopped. So now the momentum is 1 times 0, which is 0. So the change momentum is going to be 0 minus 5, which is negative 5. Okay, now try to do it with a blue car. And then the rest of this work is independent. Good luck. Just my tip is to follow the directions and look at the pictures provided here. Okay, the pictures will show you the setup for the next table. Okay, and that is the last thing. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with me. Have a great day. Bye.